Today, I want to treat a very important topic, which is the A to Z of land titles in Nigeria. So most times when clients want to buy a land, they ask me,
does this land have a certificate of occupancy?
Or questions like, I hope my property will not be demolished in the future. So that is why I'm here to explain the land titles in Nigeria. So without further ado, let's dive right in. One thing you should take note of is that every land is either free or under government acquisition. Now, a land that's free is a land that the government has not registered any form of interest in. And now, when you get a land that is free from government acquisition, it is easy to get a certificate of occupancy on such lands. Now, a land is said to be under committed acquisition if the government has registered interest on such lands, either for building schools, hospitals, airports, roads, drainages. Now, buying a land that is under committed acquisition is just like buying a headache, because you cannot obtain a building plan on such lands. You cannot perfect a title, and any property you build on such lands is going to be demolished without any compensation by the government. So try as much as possible to avoid buying a committed land. Now, a land that is under global acquisition. A land is said to be under global acquisition if the government has registered interest on such land, but ever since till date has no plan on what to do with such land. Now, a land that is under global acquisition can later be released through a process called Excision. Now, so Excision is a process whereby the government releases a land that has been under global acquisition back to the indigenous people of the community, either for residential or commercial development. An excised land can later be gazetted. Gazette is an official book of record of the government where all the documents regarding a piece of land are detailed, recorded, and kept. In this book, you will find all the details, all the communities, villages that has been granted excision in acres, hectares. So it's in this Gazette book you can find all these details. Now, the next land title is the certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy means the government releasing the land to you for 99 years. You know, according to the constitution, all lands belong to the government. So a certificate of occupancy means the government releasing that land to you for 99 years. After 99 years, the document should be renewed. You go and pay again for the document to be renewed. Now, the next title we'll be talking about is governor's consent. Some people think that the certificate of occupancy and governor's consent are the same. Now, I'm going to differentiate. I'm going to tell you the difference between certificate of occupancy and governor's consent. Now, let's say Mr. Mike, this is Mr. Mike, he got a property that has a certificate of occupancy, right? This is Mr. Mike's property. Now, Mr. Mike decides to sell this property. So Mr. Mike decided to sell this property to Mr. George. Now, what Mr. George can get on this property is a governor's consent, because certificate of occupancy is only for one person. Only one person can get a certificate of occupancy for a land, right? Now, if Mr. George decides to sell this property to Mr. Ade, Mr. Ade will also get a governor's consent. That means, in clear terms, the governor's consent simply means the government consenting the transfer of ownership of this property from Mr. Mike to Mr. George, and then from Mr. George to Mr. Ade. So that's the difference between the certificate of occupancy and the governor's consent. I believe you're able to understand the different land titles in Nigeria. Now, as a reliable realtor that I am, I do the searches for my clients to make sure they are getting a land that is free from every known government acquisition. So if my clients are buying any land, they are buying peace of mind.